As we mentioned earlier, the Fraser Institute out with a report slamming Ontario's Green Energy Act. The think tank says that taxpayers are going to be on the hook for a lot more than they bargained for, and we're not getting a lot of jobs out of this as well. So we're getting his take on the findings. Energy expert Jon Dwyer. Good morning, John.
Hi, Pat. How are you?
Good. What's your first knee-jerk reaction to this report?
Well, it's unfortunately it's nothing surprising. I mean, we've been talking about this seemingly for time immemorial since the Green Energy Act was created. But the major component about this is it's finally coming out and listing all of the inherent fallacies and what the Ontario Liberals had put together with the Green Energy Act, and that's that 50,000 jobs were going to be created. That I was recently with my friend Steve Paikin on Studio 2 on TVO, and I talk quite avidly about the fact that green energy does cost us more, and it shouldn't. And Steve quoted me a quote from a certain group that said, it's actually a negligible increase. And so now with this kind of information coming out, we're seeing that that's not the case, and that green energy is actually costing us more.
It costs us more even just to pay for it. That's got to be hard on the manufacturing sector in Ontario.
Well, we're going to see on the manufacturing side, the return on investment, natural access to capital, at the moment is very difficult. But they're anticipating over the coming years a 29% drop and also a 12% drop in access to that capital in the mining sector. And as all of our friends here in Toronto and on Bay Street can tell you, over the past 24 months, mining has been taking a real hit. And, you go to the local PDAC conference, the mood is different each year, and, mining needs help. I run a manufacturing company, and I got to tell you, there's a lot of strong adjectives that I wouldn't use on camera to describe exactly how I feel about what they're doing to the price of energy.
Okay, but on the flip side, though, John, does it reduce or improve the environment?
Well, what Ross McKittrick from the Fraser Institute, what his report basically dictates is that there was a secret report done by the province in 2005 that found that there was actually, it's going to cost us 70 times more, not 70%, 70 times more for energy to reduce, apparently, the greenhouse gas emissions and other items that they're trying to basically, on aggregate, reduce the amount of fossil fuel that we're burning and putting into the atmosphere. Now, if they had taken what we call conventional methodologies for reducing our output of items like what we call unburned hydrocarbons, which is sulfur, into the air, or other items, just basic greenhouse gases, we actually could have reduced it without putting it on the burden of businesses and Ontario families. They had the information, and for some reason, for some unbelievable reason, they chose to pursue wind and solar with such incredible vigor that it just seemed to dictate that rational thought was just out the window.
Okay, John. You're stuck between a rock and a hard spot because you go to nuclear, you've got the remnants of leftover uranium, those kinds of things happening. If you go to coal, you're going to have dust spewing into the air. What's the right alternative?
Well, here's the thing. This becomes very much a conversation about economics. And the biggest thing that we do, and that the biggest problem I have with folks like David Suzuki, is that they try and draw the dividing line between environment and economics. Access is all dictated by price. Accessibility is dictated by price. So if the cost of something is too high, not everybody can access it. So, in any case, if environmental items like wind, solar, et cetera, are going to cost us more, not everybody can participate, so it's not environmental in the first place. That being said, I am a big proponent of nuclear. I think nuclear makes a lot of sense. There are sustainable and very responsible ways to pursue it. There are also methodologies that folks can employ for what we call burning clean coal. We saw it in Mississauga and Oakville with the debacle over these gas-fired plants, which have been put in place to replace coal. And so, you're seeing natural gas. We've got one right in downtown Toronto, one of our largest power facilities. So, we have to get back to what makes sense for Ontario families and businesses, and there are clean ways to use nuclear and coal.
Okay. John, great to chat. Thanks.
Thank you.
Toronto energy expert, CEO of Flax Energy, Jon Dwyer, joining us there.